girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, that brand is so beautiful. Like, could I ever, will I ever? And God said, say yes. The rose detailing on the cape for me was just exquisite. Like, how did you see this pair of jeans and think that those studs and that buckle and that piece of leather and that piece of fur would go there and look amazing? When I walked the red carpet, I knew I was eating. African print being used in ways that you never thought that it could be used before. If you are a girl that loves looking like a pretty little baddie, authentic Zimbabwean fashion, our fashion is in good hands.
Fashion is the most powerful art there is. It's movement, design, and architecture all in one. It shows the world who we are and who we'd like to be.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Faith and Fashion. My name is Charmaine. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the notification bell to be up to date with new videos on this Faith and Fashion playlist. Do the right thing. Go and click on the playlist. Go and binge watch previous episodes so that you are up to date with the series. And leave a comment. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and welcome to another episode. Today I'll be sharing with you some of my favorite local designer and retailers that I have worked with over the years, and I am super excited for you guys to get to see the amazing fashion aesthetic that we have locally going on. So if you are keen to see who I have on my list of previous fashion collaborations, keep watching this video. Trying to get in your wardrobe and your word? Then look no further and binge watch previous episodes of the Faith and Fashion series. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're up to date with new episodes on this playlist. But for right now, let's get back to today's video. Okay, so you guys know that before we get into fashion, we have to water our spirit man with some faith. And I feel like today's verse is very timely because I'm basing it around the recent lunar eclipse that took place. I would love to believe that you're aware, because like, would you be unaware? Like, if you're not on the internet, we all have the sky. I'm pretty sure everybody on this planet had the opportunity to witness the beautiful lunar eclipse that took place last week. And as I was watching it, I felt like it was the perfect time for me to pray. It was the perfect time for me to meditate, because I understand the spiritual significance of something of that magnitude taking place in our generation and time. And so today's verse is from Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, and it reads, "And God said, let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years." So when I was watching the eclipse, that is the scripture that kept playing in my mind. And if you do further investigation, because I was like, okay, God, there's this great big celestial display that's taking place. Where else can I see the Bible speaking about activities that happen in the sky? And not just activities that happen in the sky, because there are multiple lights. There is the sun, there's the moon, there's the stars. But I was looking specifically for activities that surround the moon. And I was led to Amos 8. I was also led to Joel chapter 3. And both of them speak about the moon turning red. And I remember when I would read this when I was younger, I thought that the moon would actually turn like completely red. But wisdom has allowed me to understand in growth that the redness is not like the crimson red that we would think of, but it is a tinting from the normal color of the moon, which is what took place. And the Bible tells us that every time that activity takes place, it's a sign of a season. I could go a lot deeper into my personal studies when it comes to what God has revealed to me in the scriptures, but I think right now we will stick to the scripture of the day, which is from Genesis chapter 1. I believe that lunar eclipse was a very loud call from heaven for those that are in alignment with the Spirit of God, for those that are in alignment with the will of God, to prepare themselves for the new season that's taking place. Let's not take for granted the signs that heaven is giving us, and use those displays, use those calls from heaven to get into alignment with the will of God. So that is our verse for today's episode of Faith and Fashion. Let us get into the fashion. So, disclaimer before we go any further, these brands that I will mention are not the only brands that I have worked with. I have been blessed. I have truly been blessed to have worked with a lot of talented people, a lot of talented brands, a lot of brands that have staked their reputation to be able to collaborate with me, trusting that I'll be able to deliver their brand vision. And so I want to just put that out there, that there's a lot of other brands that I have worked with, but these are the brands that I felt like had some really cool outfits for this episode, and that I've also worked with quite a bit. I remember when I moved from South Africa to come back to live in Harare, and I hadn't really had the opportunity to integrate myself into society. And so when I was online, I would see a lot of beautiful garments. I would see a lot of the it girls, a lot of popular people wearing this brand at events, and I was like, oh my gosh, that brand is so beautiful. Like, could I ever? Will I ever? And God said, say less. This brand is Posh Privy. If you know Posh garments, then you know that you will always find a 10 out of 10 gown for any event that you need to go to. If you want to go to an event and make a statement, if you want to go to an event and make a statement, okay, Posh is the way to go. I not only have collaborated with Posh on events, but I've actually worked with Posh. I call her Auntie Noma. She is the founder and brains behind Posh and other amazing business ventures. I'm so grateful that in the great grand scheme of how Posh, for lack of a better word, how Posh a brand is, that she would trust me not just to collaborate with her on an event, but also to actually model some of her pieces. And I'm super, super grateful for that. So last year, I hosted the Zimbabwe Hip Hop Awards. That was my first time hosting an event of that magnitude with that many industry peers. I was so nervous, but even if I was nervous, I still knew that I looked good. Why? Because Posh gave me this beautiful, stunning red piece of fashion that, like, when I walked the red carpet, I knew I was eating. I knew the girl looked good. I knew that I looked amazing. And the cape was like the showstopper for me, because the dress itself was so beautiful. It had no shoulder straps, and it had a V that came down the cleavage, but it was covered with some lace, which I love that. It gave edgy, but it was still classy. Literally, it hugged my figure and kind of fell down at the bottom with a fishtail type of aesthetic. But the cape, big, puffy, red stitching that looked like a bunch of roses were just put on. It looked like I was carrying roses on my shoulders. Okay, Posh knows how to cater to women that want to be elegant but still feel sexy, women that want to stand out at events, women that want to feel confident in themselves. And I feel like every one of her pieces is beautiful. Quality of the dress is 10 out of 10. Investing in a Posh dress is investing in a timeless wardrobe piece, so much so that you're able to wear it more than once, but you're able to keep it as a museum type piece in your closet that you can then inherit to your little girl if you do have a girl. That's how classic her pieces are, and I absolutely love the brand. This designer is one of my favorite local designers. Not only is he extremely talented, but he's such a well-mannered, good-hearted, humble person. And this brand is Scott's Streetwear. Let me tell you, it's street, and I love street. The street chic girly in me is a fan. But the way he creatively takes what would be a normal garment and he puts his creative twist on it, and it's just elevated to something that's mind-blowing. Like, what? Like, how did you see this pair of jeans and think that those studs and that buckle and that piece of leather and that piece of fur would go there and look amazing? Scott's Streetwear is one of my favorite fashion brands. I got this pair of pants from him that, like, baby, I wore those pants out. It's such a statement piece. No matter how many times you can wear it, every time you pair it with something different, it just brings a new look to it. I've done a photo shoot with BT Photography in those pants, and I remember, oh yes, he gave me a top that's made of ties. What? So good. It was so beautiful. I felt like I looked so cool in that photo shoot. And then he also gave me like this little bag on the side, which was a denim bag with a smiley face. And it's also the attention to detail. Like, he doesn't just deliver a piece and be like, oh yeah, this is cool, but like he makes sure that he accessorizes to bring the vision that he has to life, and I love that about him. I love Scott's streetwear. I know that he's worked with Stacey when she went to Egypt. That piece of fashion that she has, and she recently restyled it for a photo shoot, which was like a cowboy aesthetic. Girl, you're kidding. Scott is amazing. Even his personal style and even his poses, they're so fashion forward. That's it, so fashion forward. And if he is the crop of designers that we can expect to represent like the youth at like Zimbabwean, authentic Zimbabwean fashion, our fashion is in good hands. Our fashion industry is in good hands. If we have people like Scott Streetwear representing us in the fashion space on a global scale, our fashion is in good hands. He's so unique. The things that he does with denim is ridiculous, and like, I love him. Love Scott Streetwear. Next, we have a brand that I never knew I would enjoy creativity when it came to African print until I collaborated with them. And what I love about them is that they honor my work as a creative. I think that's probably one of the fashion brands that I've worked with the most in my career thus far, and that is PP Styles. There's this beautiful lady that is the brains behind it. Her name is Pauline, and she's so humble, so kind, so attentive to her work and the people that are representing her work, that like working with her just felt like a breeze. Working with her just made my soul happy. Like, I was happy to create content with her and for her. I was happy to wear her brand. Her work is phenomenal. She put such a creative twist on African print. Obviously, because it's African print, it's very colorful, it's very bold. The designs, the print on the fabric are very loud. It's African, it's Africa. It's Africa in the form of material. What I did figure out is pairing my pieces that were two pieces and pairing them with something else. It was bold and fun and cute, but it was quite vibrant. I feel like the brand is fun. Okay, the clothes are fun. But go and follow PP Styles, go and follow Ndiwone. If you are an African print lover, you will find some unique pieces and just like African print being used in ways that you never thought that it could be used before. If you're a baddie, you shop at Natasha Season's boutique, okay? I feel like she goes and she searches through all the popular girly websites like Fashion Nova and Pretty Little Things, and she's able to find the very best in terms of fashion pieces on those platforms and deliver them to us here. Not only is it convenient because I don't have to go through the hustle of trying to ship stuff online, I can just go in store in person and select what I want, but she's got a great eye for sourcing fashion. I wore a dress from Natasha Season's boutique when I was hosting the Nama red carpet with Eyes of 263, and I loved that dress. It was this beautiful black suede-like material short dress with a bedazzled corset top and a huge train behind. I felt like I looked like I was supposed to be on the red carpet. It was such a statement piece type of dress, but like not so loud that I'm taking away the attention from the people that I'm actually interviewing. If you are a girl that loves Fashion Nova, if you are a girl that loves Pretty Little Things, if you are a girl that loves looking like a pretty little baddie or a PYT, then go to Natasha Season's boutique. I'm sure you will find something that will speak to who you are there. Okay, finally, one of my favorite brands in terms of me just having a high regard and respect for the brains behind the brand. These talented young gentlemen have like taken fashion and youthfulness and authenticity to who they are. I feel like their clothes are a reflection of who they are, and they've put them in a garment and they've made it look cool. That is Corrupt and Chroma. Corrupt is such a young, youthful, edgy brand. They have such a unique way of creating designs. that makes it look young and youthful and fun, but it also feels like familiar and comfortable. So some years ago, I hosted Dr. Chai's EP launch party at Emakumeni, and I was nervous too. I go on the stage, I take the microphone, I talk, but let me tell you, inside, shaking. Before going on stage, shaking. Pray to God, like, I don't know if I can do this. But I did it. And what helps me before going on the stage is taking a look in the mirror and be like, oh, you look good. You look good. You're about to step on the stage, and you may be nervous and you may not be sure if you're going to speak the way you want to speak and articulate yourself well, but at least you look good. And I wore this beautiful powder blue two-piece from Corrupt, and when I tell you I look good, I'm not somebody that generally gravitates towards shorter garments. I don't think I have the confidence to move around in like a really short skirt or really short shorts or really short dress. But this piece of fashion from Corrupt, it was this powder blue jacket with matching skirt. The jacket was just cut in such a way that gave it this unique look, and the skirt had, in the front of it, had these silver chains in front of it, and the stitching on the entire outfit was this diamond stitching, which I just thought was phenomenal. The design of that piece was beautiful. It looked like I needed to be on a stage presenting an EP by an international artist. It looked like it. I done a photo shoot with Swish Says Media, and we went to Pomona Zuva Garage, and we asked if we could use the kiosk to take our pictures, and those are till this day some of my favorite pictures. It looked like what I would go onto Pinterest to look for a gas station store aesthetic photo shoot. That's how good that photo shoot was. I feel like when it comes to Corrupt, the way that they cut their designs out is what makes them unique. Like, yes, it's a jacket and a skirt, but the cut of the fashion is what makes it stand out. Yes, it's a crop top, but the cut of the fashion is what makes the crop top stand out. Those are some of my favorite fashion brands that I've collaborated with here locally. I feel like Zimbabwe has great talent. I feel like our designers have just this beautiful approach to fashion, and I'm so excited for the rest of the world to get to see it. And I'm deeply, deeply honored that these people would trust me to be able to wear their garments in such a way that I would translate their vision to an audience that would draw back to the creativity that inspired them to even get into fashion. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like this video before you go, and leave a comment. Let me know some of your favorite local designers here in Zimbabwe. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and if you can, share this video with somebody so that our internet family grows. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. God continue to bless you and keep you until our next episode.